Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. Happy Wine Wednesday. On this episode of the Swirl Suite, our special guest is Jennifer Carruthers of JC Select Wines. Through JC Selects, Jennifer's goal is to elevate your overall relationship with wine. She is very, very good at her job. She even sent us all sparkling wines to sip while she told us her story on our podcast. We hope you enjoy. Cheers. Cheers to you.
I need a sip of this. It's Monday, but it's Friday somewhere.
Oh my gosh, man. Monday. I love it. Such a good
Love
sound.
that sound.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, gorgeous.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. Did you get your bubbles? I'm just like praying all four of you.
Ooh.
Yes. That shit is special too. That Navarone.
I love that bottle. I love it.
Have you tried that cava before?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Yeah. Every cava that we can get in DC. Tanisha, how are you?
Hey, Kiki. Hey, Tanisha.
Hi.
Hi, Tanisha.
Hi, Jennifer.
Or should I say bonjour?
Bonjour, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Presque bonsoir. Dude, I started following you like a long time ago because I was like, oh, Psalms in France. I need to know more of these for the next time I go over there.
Yes, I'm still waiting for you too.
I know I haven't been. So
Do you guys know each other?
We're open.
No,
Instagram. From social
Ah.
media. Yeah, Instagram.
You know,
Isn't
that's
it
how we meet
amazing?
people now.
Isn't it crazy?
Like you have full-on conversations with people that you've never met before.
Yeah.
Yeah. People that I hold dearly now that I'm like,
Yeah.
I know about you, your dogs, your mom. Can't wait to meet your aunt because she sounds crazy. Like I'm so I have some Instagram friends that I'm just like, we really haven't met in person. Well, that's weird.
And it's so fun when you actually do meet them in person. That's super fun.
It is.
Oh, sorry.
That's been
Can I
happening. It's been great.
Can I ask you super Instagrammers a question? So how long do y'all stay on Instagram to develop these? Because I don't do this.
Like what you mean? Like over time or like a day?
Like in a day?
So it
Because when
has
is
to
you
be,
post and roll out? I already know. You post and then you log out. You probably don't even have the app on your phone. You probably be posting from your actual PC.
No. I do.
You
have an
can't
app on
post
my
from your
phone.
PC.
Yeah.
You
I'm like,
can
if
now.
I could,
You
I
can.
would.
You can.
You can now?
Yep, you can.
No, you can't from Facebook.
No,
you can post
I do.
from your
No, I
phone.
can. I post directly from Instagram, like I did it earlier today.
On your
Posted,
computer?
on my computer. Yep.
What?
I'm
And you
not
can
that
do it
great
through
at Instagram.
Facebook on your computer.
You
Huh.
can. You can do that too. Yep.
Interesting. Okay, to answer Glence's question.
Because
Well, I think the social part of social media is to give and take. So you post your stuff and you receive the comments and the likes and everything, but you got to do the
Right.
same for others. So to
Right.
me, that takes the most time because I can post and like Tanisha said, be out. But someone, the social media strategist said, you have to take the time to interact with
Respond.
others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I
Also,
guess
Glennis, a lot of these relationships and things like this were much easier to develop during COVID and during confinement. Like I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't doing anything else. So I had hours to spend on Instagram. That was like the interaction I had with actual humans.
People.
So once you build that up, then it's like, okay, you don't want to just leave them. Like these are your people now. So you keep it going. So that definitely built up my actual interaction and feeling like these are actually people I know. Not just like, oh, let me just leave you a 2-word comment. Cool pic. That's nice. Cute dog. Like, no, during that time, like I literally couldn't go nowhere. So it's like, oh, I could make full comments and like form sentences and develop relationships.
No, Leslie, that's a good
Tell me what
question.
you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
Leslie, it's a good question for you because you had a person that was doing your social media. So how did you like balance the two?
Right.
It takes time. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like it's hours with an S that you have to give. And at one time I had somebody posting for me, but I just didn't feel like it was in my voice.
Mhm.
And then the minute that I took it back, then the account started to grow. So yeah, it does take, like I have to like say I'm going to dedicate this time.
I got you. I just wasn't sure if you ladies was just okay. I'm just gonna stay on Instagram and just do this all damn day because I'm trying to figure out where.
Oh, don't get it twisted. You get caught up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You get addicted.
It's a black hole. You just get sucked in.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be some 1 a.m. scroll moments. Some, just laying in bed like, well, let me see what they doing. Well, let me see who put up a new story. Well, what's this reel talking about?
And then next reel.
Right.
Yeah,
I
I actually,
and then you just keep going.
I found my newest esthetician on Instagram. Somebody posted their results of their first chemical peel. And I was like, oh my God, her skin looks amazing. And she's Black and she's in DC. Oh, I got to check her out. That was a sinkhole. Then I started following her. And I went to her. I had my first chemical peel. My skin feels wonderful. So it's beautiful. Thank you. So it can definitely be a sinkhole for products and services and all the things. So, yeah.
Were you nervous about the peel?
Peel?
Well, yeah, because I have really sensitive skin and peel sounds so harsh. Chemical peel, like the words sound really harsh. But I talked to my dermatologist along with the esthetician and they explain the difference in the, because there are different levels. So I got the mildest one. So, but no, it was great.
Gentle peel.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, please share her information because speaking of social media, so it must have been a reel. I'm learning these, as you can tell, Jennifer. I'm not the social.
You're doing great. Dude, I'm not the expert.
They draw me in on these ladies from the Swirl Suite, but there was this guy that looked like he has dipped his face in hot fish grease.
Oh,
that's a bad.
I saw that, Glennis. I saw that
a day after.
I saw it a day after my peel, and I was like, had I seen that,
but did you hear the real story? No, I didn't tell the full story. There was another live with the actual woman who did it.
Okay,
and she was like, "That's not how he looked when she left." And he was picking at his face and doing some other stuff that he wasn't supposed to do.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was another part. There's always 3 sides to the story. So
yeah. But his
John,
it looked like he just did like this and it's like bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, his face was messed up. Yeah.
His face was messed up. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So the esthetician I went to, it's JC Spa Experience. Her name is Janelle. And she's in Northwest DC. Before we get into our special guest, Tanisha, I saw your stories today. You were judging wine. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So there's this wine competition. There's this, it's called Vigneron Independent. So it's all the independent winemakers of France. And they do this a few times a year in places throughout France where they all come together and have like a big salon where they pour their wines and you can buy them direct from the producer. So I was judging a competition or like a jury of their wines. They can submit their wines for gold, silver, bronze, and hope for the best. I had the pleasure of judging all rosés. So 2 sessions, 15 rosés a piece. So 30 rosés later, here we are.
That was today. That was your breakfast.
So that was actually over the weekend. It was part of the weekend. I was doing a recap. I was like, come weekend with me. So yeah, it was what I know. French people are really hard graders and scorers. So I would say something like, oh, this is nice. It's fresh fruit. They're like, yeah, it was really good. And we're scoring out of 20. Yeah, it was really good. I'd say a 14. I was like, oh, 14 is really good. But like 14 of them was like a high score. So I think in my second session, we did 1 gold, 2 silvers, and a bronze out of the 15 wines. Those are the only ones that medaled. So just know that when you see a medal on these wines, that these people are serious and they take this very seriously. But it was fun. We tasted it ourselves, amongst ourselves, blind tasted it, of course. And then we had a discussion after. We just kind of said which ones we thought were our favorites or like our top 4. And then if we couldn't if we didn't have a few that all 3 of us said, then we went back through, tasted, and then kind of made a case for ones we really believed in.
Do you get a corked wine? Do you get anything corked?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Cool.
Tanisha, have you ever tasted and just been like, this is god awful?
Yes. And luckily we have our own spit buckets. And so I can just dispose of that right away. Yeah. It hasn't happened often and it hasn't happened in a while, but yeah, it's definitely happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily it's blind. I don't know what it is. Nobody else knows what it is. So it's not like somebody could be offended or like, oh wow, how could you say this is terrible? It is interesting how different my palate is than French people. Because when they'll taste and they'll rate something or they'll get a certain flavor, I'm like, no, I didn't get none of that. Or they're like, oh, this is delicious, 11. I'm like, okay, I don't. 11 is, how are you, where are you getting these numbers from? Or like you all have judged wine competitions before, and on site, you usually give full points for the way it looks, unless it's like cloudy or an actual fault. I've always given full points for the way it looks. These people, out of 5 points, they're like, no, this is a 3. Why is it a 3? They're like, well, I mean, it can't be perfect. I was like, it can, just on the site, like it can.
Yeah. I think those are gimme points.
Perfect. Right. Yeah. I'm like,
those are gimme points. Mm-hmm.
But also it's weird that it's out of the categories they had were out of 5, but then if you add them all up, so like the highest score you could get is a 20, but then if you add them all up, it's more than 20. So I'm like, I don't understand how y'all doing this. This math is not mathing. Like if I gave all 5s, then it would come up to like 30, but the highest was like 20. It was bizarre. Girl, I would just say the ones that I like.
Do they have extra credit points? I don't get it.
But people still weren't giving them higher than the 14. It is the French curve. And they were still like, oh, this is good. They had like good, great, and exceptional.
Okay.
I'm like, what is the... I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to just sit here and just taste these, spit them out. But then the last set of rosés, it was later on in the day. So after 6 o'clock, I'm like, oh, well, we can drink these now, right? We don't have to spit. We just could drink them all if we like. So it was a couple at the end. I was like, just pour me another glass. Like, y'all not doing nothing with this.
You pass me that 11 over there.
Right. I was like, $14.79. I like that one. I need to taste it one more time just to be sure. Thank you very much. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was cool. And then they gave us a bottle at the end for, our troubles.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Did you get to pick which bottle you wanted?
Girl, no, it was in a white plastic bag. You ain't even know. They were just like, here, and everybody got something different. I'm looking at other people's like, dang, I want it straight.
Right.
But I'm like, Tanisha, that's ungrateful. Like, be glad you got something. So I shut up and just took the bottle.
I love that.
Yeah.
Congrats though, man. That's cool.
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun day.
Well, we have a special guest, Jennifer Carruthers. Welcome to the Swirl Suite.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
I'm super stoked to be here. I'm like, maybe they got the email address wrong. I'm really not that cool, but I'm so excited.
Stop it. Oh, tell us about the wines that you sent us.
I did. Well, I got so excited. Okay. Number 1, disclaimer. It's illegal to send wine for free. So I invoiced myself for all of this wine, just for anyone who was out there who might be auditing me. Okay. So sparkling wine, I had to pick some of my favorites and I was trying to pick stuff that you didn't know. So the fact that you know Navaran is fail number 1. But it is a super special cava. So the grape Pareada, like those 3 main grapes that come out of the cava. So Pareada was named after the dude that started Navaran. So like the 2, I know. Oh. And I was like, maybe even though they've tasted this wine, I'll have one fact that they don't know yet. So the dude who started the winery, his last name was Pareada and his wife's last name was Navaran. So that's where the word Navaran came from. But they named the frickin' Pareada grape after him.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's not as cool as like Charello, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, there was something that I learned about cava at your tasting with Julia that I didn't know about the caps. I could not remember this fun fact about cava. So after we recorded this episode, Jennifer reached out to Julia and sent this link. This is what I was trying to articulate. The quality label that we can find on a bottle of cava is called Marchamo. This represents the seal that guarantees the origin and quality of the wine certified by the Cava Regulatory Council. When you open a bottle of Cava, there's a cap on the top of the cage. There are 4 different types of Marchamos. They're all different colors, and they represent 9 months, green, silver, 18 months, gold, 30 months, and then another gold that's 36 months. I'll be sure to put this link in the description box so you can visualize what these look like and look out for them the next time you have a bottle of Cava. Jennifer, please tell everybody like what you do and who you are.
Oh, that's a loaded question. Okay. Well, I do wine. I do great wine. I was a wine broker distributor for over 10 years and just really became a picky wine drinker, consumer, all of it. So I started a company literally just so I could get wines to my friends, my circle of people that happen to also share tastes. They want to drink something that they've never tried before, they've never heard of. They want something new to share with their friends. They're tired of the same old, same old. You spend less money, drink better wine. That's kind of what I'm here for. So my circle has expanded from the last 10 years of getting my friends, what I could, sort of in the gray area of purchasing wine when you're in business to business market. And now I'm business to consumer. And I'm like, you can have anything you want. Here's what I like. You should try them all. So it's been really fun expanding from my very, very pickiness to still very picky, but just with a larger selection is what I do now. But yeah, events. So I have the virtual events. So Zoom, that became a thing a couple of years ago. Virtual events, in-person events are back. I have a little wine club. I do a fun champagne sale with La Caravelle and or Charles Heitzig, depending on the client, here in San Diego. So that's fun. You guys should come out for that. Yeah.
Hold on, when you say sale, it's boat. S-A-I. Okay, because I thought you meant S-A-L-E. But it's sale. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
No, literally. So there's this really beautiful catamaran. I think it's the most beautiful catamaran in all of San Diego in the harbor. And I've been working with them for a long time because I used to just do their wine for them and be a som on their boat when they wanted one. And I don't know if you guys know Blaine, who's the founder of New York Champagne Week. So she's a girlfriend of mine, and she does a very similar sale in New York. She has friends and family in San Diego, and she's like, dude, you got to do this shit in San Diego. Like, New York, it's a small window. San Diego, we can do it all year round. She's like, and I'm like, oh, that's funny because I know a boat and I drink a lot of champagne. So it's kind of set up for a bunch of my corporate clients who buy the package. So it's the boat, 3 hours, champagne, incredible charcuteries from a local woman who does incredible charcuterie stuff called Bardelli Boards, and then me. Whether you want me or not, I'm there. I'm going to tell you about the champagne. You don't have to remember anything. There's no test at the end, but. No, that's been really fun over the last couple of years too.
So when do you have these, or do you have them regularly?
Yeah, it's kind of all year round. So I started in the summer, and then there was an afternoon cruise or an evening cruise. But when the days got shorter, we kind of just did one and customized it to whenever people thought they might get cold or whenever their dinner reservations were afterwards. But it goes pretty much all year round. So I did them up until November, and then they're starting up again in April.
Nice.
Yeah, super fun. Start playing.
That seems very fitting for you because it seems like you're very outdoorsy.
Fun. And super champagne oriented. Yeah. I was like, boat's gorgeous. Charcuterie is perfect. You're going to drink my favorite champagne. Ironically, so when it's Charles Heitzig, sometimes I tell this story and sometimes I don't. I'm like, oh, this is the champagne they poured on the Titanic. And they're like, great, we're on a boat. I'm like, there are no icebergs in the San Diego harbor. You're fine.
I don't know if that was a good thing.
I know that's a fun fact.
Well, it's always got
back. Well, at least you're drinking the best on your way down.
Well, it's a cool fact.
You got to go down. Yeah. That's the best way to go. Or have 2 bottles to hold your ass up.
Expensive drunk. Yeah, it's sort of it's such a cool fact to share with all my clients. Unless you're on a boat. Unless you're on a boat.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I do a lot of corporate gifting and stuff. So I have a lot of real estate agents. Every time someone buys a house, they're like, "Hey, ship them 2 bottles of this or whatever." So a little bit of everything. I don't know. I can't. Gotcha. It's hard to just pin it down. But yeah, the champagne sales fun.
So let's back up to the beginning of your wine journey. You used to be an engineer.
I was.
So how did you make that transition and why?
Don't hold it against me. Well, I was moving to California because of my husband's job, waiting for my green card. American citizen now. I vote for probably the same people you do. And I was waiting for my green card, and I was allowed to live here. They're like, you can live here. You can spend all the money you want, but you can't work. So you don't get a social security number. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm the worst housewife ever. Like, moved here on a Saturday. And I was like, okay, I need something to keep myself busy. Otherwise I'll go crazy. My husband won't want to marry me because we were only engaged at the time. So I was like, I've always loved wine, lived in France when I was younger. I was always the person, even at a table of 20 people, for some reason, looking back now, I realize how stupid they were, but people would pass me the wine list and they're like, you know wine. I'm like, yeah, I know wine. No. So I moved here on a Saturday, started my WSET course on Sunday. And then it just so happened that I was finishing my advanced when a guy in my class was like, I think this guy's hiring. It's a really great portfolio. I know you don't have your green card yet. You just need to sort it out or wait. And I literally got my green card, I don't know, within a few days of this conversation, ended up with this job. And I was like, God, I work in the wine industry. And Canada, we don't get a lot of California wines up there. And if you do, they're prohibitively expensive. So I'd never heard of Rombauer, never heard of Silver Oak, never heard of all these iconic producers in California because it just doesn't happen. There's no hate for Merlot up there. I was like, wow, California has something up their ass about this Merlot problem. I don't know what's going on. And so I'm like, lo and behold, I'm like, oh, I'm working in the wine business. Wow, this is a lot. So it's kind of a sink or swim situation, but I worked with this really great portfolio, super small boutique producers that were just amazing quality. Bang for your buck was killer. And my favorites from day one are, a lot of my favorites now. So I really enjoy still working with those, and I consider those wineries family. And it just, it's kind of the backbone to everything I've done and led me up to this point. So it's been kind of cool, if that answers your question.
No, it does. So you mentioned that you used to live in France, and then I also saw that you lived in Australia as well. Were you working there, or what led you to those two places?
France, I did an exchange. So I was like 16 when I was living there. I lived in Glace, Tunisia. So you know where that is, like inland from Nice and Cannes. This is perfumed central of France.
I was about to say where all the perfume is. Yeah.
Yes.
Where, I mean, not all the perfume is, but where they develop all the scents and stuff. Yes.
Yes. Did you know Julia Coney lived there and studied? Like L'Oreal paid her to go to scent school or whatever.
Yes.
I'm totally butchering her resume right now, but like she's one of the few people that I know that she's like, I lived in class. And I was like, shut the hell up. You lived in class. So I lived there. Very cool, because part of the family that I lived with, who are still near and dear to me, I see them whenever I can. Their family was partly from Burgundy. And again, I was 16, didn't know really anything about wine. And I know they were opening bottles, and I wish this is before Instagram. So I wish I'd taken pictures and selfies with them. And because I can only imagine what we were actually drinking, because I go visit them now and I'm like, what were you opening when I was 16? Can we go back to that? So that was an exchange. Love France. It'll always be a part of my soul. I go back every 2 years if I can, minus COVID. And then Australia was a job. So I actually worked, I was an environmental engineer for their Department of Commerce. It's kind of their water department is what I did down there. So I lived there for a couple of years, and I wish I had the money to buy better wine, but I did drink pretty good wine when I was there. I was like starving student status down there, but
that's really cool.
That is really nice.
And
I'm quite sure what you drank was nice too. It just wasn't like.
Well, they have these things. So here's a little Australian secret. They have these wines down there, because I was still an asshole. Like, I could be poor. I'll eat ramen, toast and cheese every day, but I will not drink shitty wine. And they have these things down there. They're called clean skins. And what it is it's like, imagine you're a winery. You make all this really nice wine that's maybe like $40-$50 a bottle, but you run out of labels, or you run out of the bottles that match all the other bottles in the lineup. So you put in a generic bottle with like, this is in the 2000s. So, it's like a laser printed label that you stick on, or sometimes handwritten, and then you sell it for $20 instead of 50. But because it's not the proper label, it's not the proper package, and you're not really sure what it is. So it's kind of hit or miss. So you buy like 6 of them, and then find one that you like and then go back immediately and buy more, because once it's gone, it's gone. But they're called Clean Skins, and they saved me. They were great. They like,
wow.
you know,
That
it
sounds so fun.
Lived off of those, literally. It was very cool. So I think I was drinking pretty good wine, just couldn't tell you any of them what they were, because there was it was like, hey, Shiraz Cab Blend. I'm like, yeah. And then you go back and match the label with what your drunken memory said it looked like. And you're like, I'll take 27 more of those bottles, please. Wine education started young. Come a long way since then.
So how long did you work as a broker before you started your own?
What I do. So JC Select Wines is what I do now. I worked for the broker for probably 6 or almost 7 years. And then I co-founded a brokerage with 2 partners. Don't ever have partners. So the partnership didn't work out, but the company was fine. I have a little PTSD from it, but it did kind of push me to do what I do now, which is so much better. So I was in the brokerage world with similar wines for that entire sort of 10-year period. And then for the last 2 years, I've been doing JC Select Wines, which is, like I said, very selfish company. I just, I want to do this. I want to sell the wines that I want. And ta-da!
Sometimes that works out the best.
Exactly.
And then some. It's been the healthiest decision I've ever made. So I'm stoked on it. It's a lot of work, but what isn't?
Are you completely virtual, or do you have a storefront?
No brick and mortar, which was great during COVID, but I can ship to all states except Utah and Mississippi. So that's kind of been custom orders, again, like Wine Club. And then the virtual tastings have been really fun because, I can host the virtual tasting and be in, all but 2 states. Or if I've learned that most people in Mississippi have a friend right across the border in where is it, Memphis?
In Tennessee.
So I have a whole list of Memphis addresses to ship to for different clients, and they just take turns and go there and pick up the wines. So I guess I can get wines to Mississippi. I just can't ship them into Mississippi. But yeah, I've been doing and then in-person stuff is back, which has been great. And some clients, they'll say, hey, like we want you to host this event in Napa. And I'm like, oh, I have to actually physically go now. That's okay. That's cool. I'm like, oh, I have to have a full outfit, not just the top.
Right.
Pajama bottoms. No, got it. Okay, cool.
Right. You got to really wrap your mind around like going back out in the world. Like I keep giving updates about me going back to work in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting closer. It's getting scarier.
I got my date.
Just
to mention
you got your date?
Yeah.
Is it April?
It's that the last pay period in April that runs into the first week in May. So the date is actually May 2nd.
Oh, wow.
Are you going to do hybrid, or is it going to be like 100% back?
It's definitely hybrid. Negotiations between unions say we have to be in the office at least 2 days per pay period. So that's like once a week, because there's a 2-week pay period.
Yeah.
But you have to apply for this. So if you want to do remote and you apply for, I forgot what, Max Telework or something other. I got to go back and watch that mess. But I got to do my hair some days. This is not going to be a good thing.
You look great.
Can't sit on the Zoom with wine and a coffee cup. No. It's all over. It's been a good ride.
I read this thing about like blowing on your coffee cup so that they think it's not wine. I'm like, so people don't swirl their coffee cups in meetings normally? All right, cool. Good to know. Coffee, it's great.
You want to get the caramel when you have like the caramel mixture, go through it. You don't want it just to sink to the bottom.
Right.
Arabica
like
beans?
The cinnamon either. If you put cinnamon on your latte or whatever, nutmeg, you want it to be blended,
But it's really easy to fool people this way because you sip wine and you sip tea and coffee. So,
yep. Or in a big old water cup.
I just think it's interesting. I know we're completely off topic,
Right.
but in certain industries,
The topic is life.
right? In certain industries, day drinking is still okay.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Which, I just think it's just, self-management.
Oh,
It's interesting that you said that, because we would have at some of our division meetings, and like one day a month, whichever month was picked, we would have wine tastings. We would have bring your favorite beverage to work day.
Wow.
Yeah. All we needed was an alcohol waiver to bring the bottles in, and all you need is your division director to sign off on it.
that's
Sure do.
your
And
HR department's like, fuck.
Right. Oh, hell, they was invited. That was great.
I believe it. Even in engineering, we had meetings at bars. Like there's like a Moxie's. I don't know. It's a kind of a local thing in Ontario. But we'd have like the engineering firm that I used to work for. We'd be like, okay, afternoon meeting. We'll discuss this and this and this, but let's do it at Moxie's. And I'm like, okay, that seems reasonable. Yeah, do that.
Moxie, the restaurant?
Yeah, it's like a chain.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's
this one here.
Canadian.
Okay. I mean in DC.
Really?
This one in DC.
Yeah, I thought I had seen one before.
It's like usually you good-looking girls, all black short skirts. No, maybe that's a Toronto thing. I don't know. Sorry, Toronto.
I've
Never
I've just
been, so I
seen
was
it.
looking at Leslie and Glenn. It's like they do that.
No, I've seen the signs, but I have not been in.
Neon. I don't know.
Mhm.
Sorry, Toronto. I threw you under the bus there. My bad, Canada.
Look, it can't be worse than Hooters, right?
No, it's not. No, I know Hooters. Hooters has better chicken wings, I'll tell you that. But yeah, Moxie's the whole
Sorry,
vibe.
Moxie. No, throwing you under the bus now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they're like, Moxie's do not support JC Select Wines. Their uniform.
Jennifer,
not mine.
back to your wine before we do our fun closeout question.
Sorry, so many tangents. I know you. I'm sure you had some sort of schedule to keep, and we've kept zero.
Oh, I threw scheduling out.
Oh, wait a second. Well,
episodes ago.
we didn't finish. Sarita, what are you drinking? What do you?
Oh, shit.
I have
We
champagne.
took one step in
Charles
that direction.
Heidsieck.
Charles Heidsieck.
Yeah.
So if you're not on a boat, I
Ooh.
will tell you it's very exciting about that wine is that it was poured on the Titanic. But I flip and love that champagne. It's like 40 or 60%, I think it's 40 reserve wines. So you get like the brightness of the current vintage blended with the last 10 years, almost half and half. So half of it has all those characteristics that come with 10 years of aging. So
It's
it
spectacular.
Really
Yeah.
Can you put
And
the
then-
bottle up again, Sarita?
Sure.
I'm sorry. While Jennifer's talking about
Charlie and
Charles Heidsieck. Okay.
Yeah.
Charlie.
I thought you were drinking Cava.
Champagne Charlie, dude was so cool. So they called him Champagne Charlie, but he was kind of like the Great Gatsby. So he's like in France, and he's like, America, why doesn't anyone go over there? Why don't we care about that market? And they're like, they don't have any taste. They're Americans, whatever. So this guy, Champagne Charlie, was like, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to start going over to America. I think there's a whole land of opportunity and people that will drink great champagne. I'm bringing my champagne with me. And he was invited to all the cool parties. He was Champagne Charlie. Everyone wanted him around. Apparently quite the character. I mean, he nailed the Titanic contract. So that had to be cool at the time. They didn't know it was going to sink. And then the other champagne, right? And then,
Jennifer, stop.
sorry. And then good though. It's good. And then I can't give you the hook. You're too far away. So then the other champagne you're drinking, the La Caravelle, I sent. So
yeah,
Glynis has the rosé, which means Tanisha has the brut. Both delicious. Wait, do you know this one?
yes.
Damn it!
I met the
Rita.
I met
Rita
the owner.
Rita.
Yes, Rita was marvelous. I met her in Blaine at the same event through Allison. And
That makes sense.
Event here. So Rita, didn't you go to that event here in
No,
DC?
I wasn't able to go. I was very jealous. I saw your pictures.
Because that was
In
at
Maryland?
Andre. Yeah, it was in DC. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's
lovely.
really, I mean, it's still a special wine. You just happen to be
I didn't know
exceptional
it
for
was
knowing
it.
people. Sorry.
I didn't know it was La Caravelle when Leslie said rosé. I just said, because I love rosés. I said, okay, just give me the rosé. And I have Cava quite often. So I was like, just give me all that. Then when I looked at it running in the house, I was like, oh, that's La Cava. Okay, I know
Rita, she's the best. So her and her husband, Andre, owned a restaurant in New York called La Caravelle. And they, nothing to do with COVID, but it shut down a number of years ago. And they're super French, super into champagne, super picky with champagne. So they decided to do a private label, went over, the juice is actually Laurent Perrier. And, but it's their own blend from what I understand. And they private labeled it and made a Brut, a Rosé. They have a Blanc de Blanc as well. And they decided to continue the label, even though the restaurant had closed down. So they have this private label, they distribute it. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one on the West Coast who gets it. And it, mostly it stays in New York. That's why I'm impressed. But DC is a very cool market. So New York, probably a couple of places in DC, but it kind of is very not well known, which is great. It's small production.
Right.
And I like to feel special. I'm an only child. So
me too.
When I can, yeah. See, isn't it great? I'm like, I'm the only one who gets this.
She was here for DC Champagne Week.
Right, you remember?
Yes, now I remember. I was there. Yes.
Okay, it's like I know one of you were there with me, and then we went to Maxwell after with Blaine. Remember?
Yes.
Couldn't find parking. Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah. DC at its best.
Uber? I don't know. That sucks. We call anyways, I won't go into that.
I'm sorry to hear that the restaurant closed down. Did you say it was because of COVID or they
no,
just
not at all because of COVID. I think it ran its run and they were kind of like, I don't think it was a bad or sad thing. It just sounded like, it was like this crazy popular restaurant for famous people. And they felt that they just wanted to go out on a high note as opposed to, they didn't want to,
which is great.
Yeah, well, and they're older and they have children and grandchildren now, and I think they were just like, you know what, let's just sell the restaurant, sell champagne because it's great champagne, and spend more time with our family and stuff. And I was like, you're just nailing life, aren't you?
Yeah, that's crazy because I know that a lot of like shows will end on a high note, but you don't hear of restaurants doing the same. They wait until they can't pull it back together.
Yeah. Right. They're like, oh, should have done that 3 years ago, but whatever. Yeah. No, I think they loved it and they were just like, no, we're done with this. It's a lot of work and we just want to enjoy our lives. They travel, they eat it. Oh my God, if you follow Rita on Instagram, the shit that she posts, these pictures of the food she eats, and I always just write back and I'm like, hey, another tough day at the office. Yeah. It's everything is like a Michelin starred restaurant. I said, how are you alive?
Oh, that's amazing.
Her answer is champagne, by the way.
It was women. The event was women in Champagne during Champagne Week at the restaurant.
Yes. Yep.
Not just.
Yeah, that seems up both of their alleys for sure. Blaine is a good buddy of mine. So she introduced me to Rita, and then so that champagne sale I was telling you about that Blaine does on the East Coast in New York. I did the boat. I reserved the boat for a weekend in July last year and filled it with 24 people, some of my best friends from the first grade, all the way to people that I'd never met in person before, but they were like Instagram BFFs of mine. So we filled this boat with some people who had no idea who the other person was. And it was just amazing. And I was like, oh, Blaney, you're right. I got to do this in San Diego. It's too much fun.
That sounds so fun.
It was wild. It was really great. Yeah.
That sounds really fun. So outside of like the bubbles, what else do you have in your collection?
Oh, a lot. I mean, so there's a lot of wines that I've been working with for over 10 years that are, like I said, family. So I have like Saxon Brown Winery, Talisman Winery. I'm a big Pinot fan. The Stoltmans have been dear friends of mine for a really long time. So those are kind of my longtime supporters. And then what was really cool about not being a broker or distributor anymore was that I wasn't just drinking wines from my own portfolio. When you're in that business and you're like, oh no, and I mean, I think I had a lot of great wines. So I did have access to great wines, but it's almost like I felt there wasn't a need to taste a lot of other wines that were out there. And I was like, oh, how wrong I was, because there are just so many gems out there. So I just developed go-to after go-to. and tasting with all my friends who, a lot of my friends are wine brokers and distributors as well. So I would taste more wines from their portfolios and just meet interesting winemakers along the way, like David Ramey and Chad Melville and all these little wineries that I also just love to support. And I've had the best Dolcetto of my life and the best Nebbiolo of my life, and all these, and it's cool because there are always buyers that turned into distributors, and some of them were my favorite buyers. I'm like, oh my God, you as a buyer, probably one of the best palates I've ever tasted with. Now I'm on the buyer side. You work for Bone Imports, which is a really beautiful portfolio. And there's no one I've trusted more with wine. Like I can call them up and say, I have someone who needs, a chef is doing an event and they want me to send a bottle of wine to every person attending this event virtually. Give me a Chianti and a Dolcetto and a whatever. Give me one recommendation of each. I send those to the client and they pick one. But it's like, I know I don't need to taste that wine because I trust this person's palate so much. It's just amazing. But it's been such a cool world, and every day is so different. And the wines are I'm exposed to even better wines than I already thought I was. It's cool.
What's the most stressful part about your job?
Kind of the unpredictability of it, especially with a little bit of COVID mixed in there. It's, it's like, oh, I'm going to start this business and it's all going to be in-person events, or, I think it's going to be one thing. And then it's like, well, clearly 2 years ago, in-person events were absolutely no longer the business model, but this virtual tasting thing and client gifting and stuff wasn't part of the business model, but it's actually been really successful. So the most stressful part is also the most enjoyable part. So how different every day is, and you never really know what next month or the month after is necessarily going to be like. Like some things are regular, like Wine Club, but a lot of them are just completely unpredictable. You're like, oh, wedding's coming up. Yay. So that's kind of stressful, but also the most enjoyable part at the same time, if that answers your question. Like money, you just want to make sure that like you're paying all your people, and that's the main stressor, I think, owning any business.
That's pretty cool. So I have a question for like you and Leslie, because you have similar businesses and you both worked in a wine position before you started this specific business. Do you think that's what other people do if they want to start something similar to what you have?
I think any background helps. Vino. Oh, and a quick question, Leslie, if you haven't trademarked Vino Noir, you have to.
That's
Glynis. Sorry. If you haven't trademarked Vino Noir yet, you have to. Have you?
Glynis, you're on mute.
Yep. I feel that.
Okay. I'm silly. Yes, I started the paperwork, but I did a poor man's trademark while I'm waiting on the actual paperwork. So yeah. You know what you're frozen, Jennifer?
No, that's good. I'm frozen? Oh,
I didn't know
if you
frozen? Because you was like that. No, you're speaking now.
That's me intently listening to you. So sorry. I've gone catatonic.
So
no,
you know
good.
what a poor man's trademark is, right?
The R?
Because you get an official, you have to mail something to yourself and you get official postmark stamp about the business, and that's initially the start of your
and
trademark.
As soon as you start the process, you can put the R next to your name.
Yes.
Yeah. You just gotta wait for that.
Right.
Amazing. Because I just want or the TM or whatever. All I know is my lawyers are crazy about it, and I was like, that's a good name. You need to like make sure no one ever steals that shit from you.
There is one person out there, and I hope you're listening to us. This is the Swirl Suite. Glynis from Vino Noir, who has www.vinonoir.com without anything else, right? And just sitting on it doesn't have that person will sell for like $12,000. Like, you kiss my ass. I put the Vino Noir. I'm not giving you $12,000.
As long as it's not trademark, when your trademark is done, you can pursue. It doesn't matter. You can pursue them for violation of your own trademark. You should probably edit all this shit out. I'm not a lawyer.
Okay. Right. So.
Yeah, I hope your editing guy is like strong.
Yeah.
Sarita,
I am the editing guy.
If she don't like, if she doesn't like something you say, you'll never hear it.
You're like, Jennifer,
will
Jen
cut
talked
you.
for 2 hours. How is this only 15 minutes of usable material? Why does she swear so much? What is she talking about? Can we filter out Titanic? Just filter it out.
Oh no.
Oh, that's too
No, that's
classic.
just
That is
Oh,
classic.
God, that is-
And there are icebergs in the bay, so people should watch out.
So I have a question. Oh shit!
I have just the
Leslie.
champagne for you.
Oh, Leslie, back away from the bottle. Oh God, that's not. Oh, I have a question for you. No, okay, that was okay. No. So, do you get any rare that you didn't send us?
I have. Well,
Jennifer?
I'm a small business. I had to save on. I needed to save on the $30 of shipping to one location instead of two. I have to pay for that. It's a lot. I mean, I love you guys. I'll open some when you're here.
Oh my God.
I'll bring a bottle when we come on the boat.
Jennifer, she is fucking with you tonight.
I know. I'm like, I love you guys.
Please don't feel bad. You are not in the minority on this. Every guest that comes on here, it is my job to hassle them for something. I embarrass my co-host all the time with this.
If you were in one place and I did send a bottle of rare, it's very clear to me now who would be wearing the tiara.
That is accurate.
No, and the only reason why I mentioned it in all fairness and all jokes aside,
Yeah.
I did a Piper Heisig tasting.
Yeah.
This is pre-COVID when iPick was opening. There's a steakhouse restaurant in iPick in Rockville. I don't know if y'all have been to the movie theater and that restaurant, Leslie and Sarita.
It's the fancy one you can eat dinner in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Piper Heisig did a champagne pairing there, and they opened bottles of rare. And I was like, can I have the bottle? Because it was empty though, because the bottle was so cute. So I just made it like made a candle out of it. But we got to drink it too.
They're beautiful. Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
The next time you see Blaine, oh no, I love it. I mean, give me shit. I can take it.
Okay.
My dad was pretty rough on me. I got thick skin. But the next time you're talking to Blaine, ask her about the rare she opened on her birthday.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah.
We might need to have her on the Swirl Suite, and that'd be the topic of conversation.
You really should, because it's unbelievable. I think New York Champagne Week is going on its 9th or 10th season this year. And I went this year. It is so fun. And she does like all of it herself. And I said, you need a cloning machine is what you need right now. Like, this is a lot. And she does such a good job. Like every event was executed so well. And it was really cool. And I better see all of you there. November, we're going to butcher it. 7th to 11th, something like that.
I was at the last one.
Did we run into each other?
For
I
New
don't
York
think so.
Champagne Week,
Oh.
November 7th to
Yeah,
11th.
that was a good time.
Oh, I'll be back. I'll be back in the country. I'll be back. Okay.
Where you
And I'll
So
let you
you
guys
guys-
know if I do the boat again. I'll let you guys know
Oh,
if I do
yes,
the New
Yeah,
York
let
boat
us
again.
know. Yeah, let us know.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely the boat. Yeah.
We can do
And
mine
since you
anytime,
already-
but the boat we did was really fun.
And since you already promised a bottle of rare, I'm definitely there. No, okay, I'm just
I got it.
So,
I just can't ship 4 of them.
No. I'll come pick them up. Shit.
Yeah.
That's worth a flight. Are you kidding me? I'll use some points. American Express points. Yes, I'm going to get, and I'll bring my wine suitcase that my friend Leslie and my other friends gave me for my birthday.
Well, girl, just fly to France and get you some rare. If you fly, yeah. If you're flying,
it's different than flying to San Diego. You know where
Not
I gotta
really.
sit.
not
You know
really.
where I gotta sit.
Oh, that's right, girl. You got to sit up with the pilot. I forgot.
Or I'll meet you guys in New York. Have you guys interviewed Philippe?
No,
Not yet.
not yet. Better way to put that. No.
He's a trip. Yeah, you really should.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Jennifer,
Yes.
when you do the boat, are you doing it in New York or are you doing it in San Diego?
Well, the one I run in San Diego, we can do that boat anytime you want. You guys plan a trip to San Diego. We'll do the boat thing. It'll be fun. So I do that. I do that here anytime anyone, reaches out. So like a few times a month, probably. The one in New York is I want to do a repeat of what I did last summer, or summer before, where I rent like Blaine's boat, the one that she works with, and then just like I just bought out the boat, and then people basically sold like, and whoever wanted to come on the boat paid like $200 or whatever to come on the boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
That's a really good deal, though, because if you're serving champagnes like that, hell, I could drink $200.
We did. I think there were 24, 25 of us on the boat, which was the max. I think the max was 23, and I was like, just keep going on the boat. Just don't look at the captain.
Is food included too? Is
we had
the
food.
event like
So
catered?
we did. So on the one in New York, you could actually pay for a chef to cater it, and which was amazing. There was like oysters and shrimp and blah blah blah. But to be honest, if I did it again, I would probably not do the extra cost of the food and do our own. Like I would probably find an equivalent to the charcuterie stuff that I do in San Diego, and bring that on board instead. Just because the food was spectacular. It was perfect for that inaugural trip, the inaugural sale, but I would rather spend that money on champagne, I think, this year. So that'll be the plan.
Yeah.
But
we'll just all stop at McDonald's on our way to the boat.
You don't even have to. We put in order. We still ordered, like, we had a couple people that had I don't know, they still came on the boat even though they had shellfish allergies. And I was like, their shit can't touch this shit. But I bought like these really awesome like banh mi sandwiches. So we brought them on as well. And I was like, next time we're just doing the banh mi sandwiches, a couple charcuterie boards, everyone will eat plenty and well, and it'll save us. Probably, it was like $50 a person. It'll save us, which will be great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It was amazing. We watched like the sunset in front of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, wow.
It was epic. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, I'm from New Jersey originally, Jennifer. So I that's an easy drive. I do that drive quite often. So
there were a few people that came. Like, do you know MJ? You know Marv? Black wine guy.
From where? Nope.
No.
He lives in Jersey. He lives in Jersey.
I've been in DC a minute, so
he was on the boat. And then, well, that's where Julia Coney lives, right?
Where,
she lives here, yeah. She lives here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She lives several places. In DC.
In Texas.
And Texas.
Louisiana and Texas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because her aunt lives in Texas. She told me where she works in DC was the best wine shop. You know what it's called?
Oh, Check.
Oh, it is.
Is she at Check?
No, she's not at Check. She's at
the
one
Snyder's.
in Brooklyn.
Wasn't she at Snyder's?
Not Snyder's. The one in Brooklyn.
Oh, she moved.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
If you said it, I think I'll recognize it.
My brain.
Yeah,
it's Monday.
Right,
it's not Check.
It's Monday.
Check?
Yeah.
It's
right here.
Boardman's.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Was it Boardman's? Okay.
Boardman's. Yeah.
Boardman's.
It is a nice wine shop. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a problem for me. Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole problem.
Yeah, it's tough. Wine. Once you get into good wine, people are like, I like such great wines now. Fuck you, Jen. Fuck you. I'm like, I'm sorry, and you're welcome, all at the same time.
Because your credit card will tell a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just, oh God. Yeah. Wasn't that one of our questions, Sarita? You got us on?
Where you overspend the most? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We didn't even say wine shop because that's like automatic.
I just said wine. I didn't say wine shop. I just said wine. Remember?
Yeah.
Hey, so Jennifer, really quick question before Sarita goes with the other fun stuff. So, what cremants do you carry? Because that's like my favorite sparkling wine. I love.
Okay, so I used to do Lucien Albrecht was my go-to. Cremant.
Yeah,
and then I did just try. Okay, so H. Mercer. It's kind of a new portfolio to me, and it's his cremants. Thank God you guys can edit because I have a picture of it because I don't remember the name at all. Probably the best cremant I've ever tried.
Oh, nice. Can't wait to see H. Mercer.
Yeah, H. Mercer's the portfolio, so that's the broker.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh wow, so many pictures from the Garth Brooks concert. Lord help me. Let me
please don't scroll through any other pictures and call it out loud.
I know you're like, oh crap.
Jennifer.
Hold on, I did take a picture of it.
What is it? Oh, we're still.
I know. I can't remember the name. Oh wait, hold on. Nope, it is Robert Meyer. Robert Meyer. Crémant d'Alsace.
It's Alsace. Okay.
And the rosé.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll say it's Cremant. I think I'm gonna become the Cremant whisperer. That's what I'm gonna do.
I love it because you know what I used to be like, okay, almost religious about like if you're not drinking champagne, you want to save money, go Cremant. And then I discovered Cava, and I was like, I think what you get is it's exceptional value for money, but it also is not necessarily always like champagne. Like I think the grapes of Cava just add a little bit of pizzazz
variety
to it. And I think what you're getting for your money in Cava is almost better than what you're getting for your money from the Cremant world.
Really? I just
that's the revelation I feel like I had this past year.
Wow. I think I think the opposite from because I'm a Cremant lover, so
yes. And
yes.
I mean there's
send me some more Cava and I'll maybe change my mind.
It's Domaine.
I'm just killing you.
Oh my God.
I love her. We need to hang out. So it's Domaine Hubert Meyer.
Domaine.
I've had this once.
Hubert Meyer.
Exceptional. It's really, really good.
On the list. You've had it too, Sarita?
Yeah, I've had this once.
Once. Oh.
I don't know when and where, but I remember the bottle.
Okay. I gotta try it.
It's really beautiful. The Brut and the Rosé are just beautiful.
Look at the bottle. I might have had it.
It looks like a bottle of champagne. It's got some cursive
the
writing.
label.
It's got some regular writing.
Right. No, some labels are eye-catching. Some labels are like, I'll have it. Let me try it. But okay. Nice. Domaine Hubert. Oh, yay. I love a new one. So wow. Are we at rapid fire?
We are at our yes. Yeah.
Rapid.
And they should be fun.
I did so well with all the tangents before. I'm so sorry if I just took everything off the rails within the first 3 minutes.
I'm already prepared, Jennifer. All right. And we all can answer this one. Name a wine pet peeve.
One.
That might take another hour. Oh,
I know. I was like, I need him biting my tongue.
Leslie, your hand is up. Please go.
Okay. Hold on. I know this is not the best visual.
Tanisha raising her hand too.
Do I have to raise my hand?
I hate when people are like, ooh, the legs. And I want to just say, F the legs. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who made that relevant, but it's not. And people, it has a tiny bit of relevance, but people should stop be like, oh, look at the legs on there, because it's just butt-ass ridiculous. That's
if you ask them, so why is there legs in that glass? The average person not even know.
I have no idea.
They just think it's alcohol.
Right.
Like it's all about the balance. I've had alcohol that's like 17% with wink and a nod, which means it's like 20% alcohol. And I'm like,
exactly.
Why is this so balanced? Also, I'm going to be wasted in about 20 minutes.
Right. Hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Martinelli, Jackass Vineyard. That is you calling Regina Martinelli. I'm calling you out if you listen to this podcast, which you should, and you will as soon as you get my text message.
I just called you out. You might want to go listen.
Yeah, and my bouquet of flowers as an apology. I have two. I have two pet peeves. One of them's gonna stir some shit up. I only drink natural wine, and I was like, okay, I've had some good natural wines. Like,
that's another whole podcast.
I know. I was like, I'm gonna open up 2 cans of worms, and this is gonna suck. And they're gonna get so mad at me. But like people like Vasco Croft from Portugal, Afros Winery, he knows what he's doing. He makes natural wine. He doesn't even have electricity in his winery. Like that's as natural as it gets, right? So he knows what he's doing. He's got a knack for it. So when he makes natural wine, I'm like, that's great. Dude who's making flawed grape juice in his garage and then selling it, and 6 bottles all taste differently. One of them's, triple fermenting or whatever. I don't want it. Like, I appreciate good natural wine. I'm just not going to say like, I only drink natural wine, because you're really just not honing in on the important part of the natural wine, which is like the low intervention, but not fucked up is the wine that I want.
Right.
And then the other thing is like, I know you've all heard this. I'm allergic to sulfites.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And
Do
then
you
tell
say, and
them,
do you eat bacon? Do you eat bacon? Because if you eat bacon, you ain't that allergic.
It's actually one of my favorite
So-
things to hear because it always leads to that segue of, nope, you just
How you make them
probably
look
should drink
stupid?
better wine. Yeah, like you need to drink better wine. You need to spend more money on the wine. Stop drinking the mass-produced stuff. That's kind of my, and I have a whole spiel that we don't have time for today, but it does. Right. It's like a pet peeve that leads to one of my favorite topics of discussion because of where there's room for education.
And I also tell them, Leslie brought up bacon. I also say, do you drink orange juice? As more sulfates than damn wine. Stop.
They don't even drink soda water. It's water. Water
then
fresh
you can
from
go
the mountains of Fiji.
Saying, but yeah, there you go.
Tanisha, your hand has been up, so I'm waiting.
Tanisha's.
I was just waiting my turn. I didn't want to interrupt. I was just waiting. Because mine is petty.
You've been called upon. Go.
Mine too. I can't wait to go.
Yeah, mine is petty. A pet peeve of mine is when people don't take the foil off and they just pull the cork straight up through the foil.
Oh,
and then pour the wine.
Savages.
And like a lot of people actually really do that though. And I can't get words out when they just like, hey, you want me to pour your glass? I was like, do you want to take that foil off? Do you want to do this properly? I don't understand. It's just one little quick move and they can just take the foil off. But yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve. Pull the foil off, then put the corkscrew in and pull the cork out.
So short, funny story.
Thank you for listening.
My husband does that, and I scream every time he does it. So I almost like rip the bottle from him, like, let me do this. And sometimes the foil is really stuck on the bottle, and it's really timely to get it off. But I will take the time. I will take the time to remove the foil, and he will sit in the corner and look at me like I'm a crazy person. And you will wait. You will wait until this foil comes off, because no, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. So I agree.
That's awesome. That's a good one. I thought of like 3 more, but yeah, no. All right, Glynis, I'm so excited for Glynis's answer right now. I don't know how to describe this.
I have so many pet peeves. Okay, I'm gonna start with the first one. And it's restaurant related. So if you restaurants are listening, please train your staff. 1, don't come to the table and I say, oh, I like to see your wine list. And these jokers say, what do you like? Red, white, or whatever. I said, those are colors. Those are not wines. That's my first pet peeve. Number 2, while ordering a bottle of wine, they come to the table, you get the bottle, and then they start pouring full glasses without letting you taste it. Number 3, restaurant related. Teach your bar staff, if you pour a glass of wine and it runs out, don't top it off with another fresh bottle, because that other bottle might not be fresh, or what you poured might not be fresh. That's the restaurant related ones. Assumptions is this.
Oh, wait, we got categories? Okay.
She just opened a scroll. There's a scroll.
Right.
Scroll down.
I mean,
yeah.
We have enough time.
That's what you get for asking these questions.
Okay, Moses, go ahead. Roll that scroll out. Read it to us.
That last one was good, though.
Y'all, the Red Sea's open, so we done opened it. She did.
Okay. All right.
Then you let me through.
Go on, Glynis.
Last but not, stop assuming. And I think we talked about this all the time. Oh, can I see the wine list? Oh, well, and the first thing you're offered is something sweet because you're a person of color. Absolutely not. Because if you're not offering me a port or dessert wine, don't make the assumption I want something sweet because of the color of my skin. I'm going to leave right there. I got other pet peeves, but everybody else got talking. We got to get on with the rest of the podcast. And Leslie don't laugh like she don't want to hear my stuff.
She needed to fill her glass.
To have something to drink while I'm running my mouth right.
Glynis, I want to hang out with you for days. Like days.
Yeah, so those are my few pet, but that kills me with the restaurant service. But because you ladies have already said the other stuff, Or here's another one. When the server's having a hard time opening the bottle, they're about to put it between their legs, like, stop. Don't do that. No. Don't. give me the bottle. I'll help you out.
I would say that's what I would do. I'd be like, let me just help you out.
Yo, here you go. This is all you gotta do. So those are a couple.
Do you feel like the assumptions are getting better over the last like year or two? Not really. Okay.
No, it just depends. It depends. I guess you say it depends on where you are, but there's still just generic assumptions made when people of color order wine, unless we are at a wine, even at wine tastings. That's another whole conversation. You ain't going to. Okay, next. Because you gave you a little, because that's another podcast. Jennifer, we love you, but
I'm here for it. I want to come back for that one.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. I think my biggest one lately has been Chardonnay haters.
Oh,
I don't understand. There's no possible way that you hate all Chardonnay. It's just not.
Yeah.
I say that about Sauvignon Blanc to some people.
Where's the Sauvignon Blanc?
Leslie, and Tanisha, she putting y'all under the bus.
You know, I would say. Look,
Tanisha and the emojis are killing me.
Mom, okay, I like your mom.
I love you, Leslie.
So I'm not saying anything.
I want Tanisha to have more emoji. I want like the eye roll emoji to pop up, like
the side eye or something.
The face palm emoji. Tanisha is an emoji.
Oh God. Yes, indeed. Oh, I feel you on that. Okay.
Yeah. So Chardonnay haters, they really annoy me. So.
Well, it's like, oh, well, that just means you've been trying shitty Chardonnay. Stop hanging out with like the cocktail moms and try some white Burgundy.
Right.
Which is true.
Right. Or some Chablis.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's such great Chardonnay. And that's my thing. I mean, when people say like, I hate Chardonnay, I'm like, perfect. Because now there's automatically a Chardonnay in the wine tasting that I'm doing for you. You're going to like it. I'm such an asshole. So bad.
Okay. So next question. I've never done either one of these. So skiing or surfing? Which one?
Ooh.
Whoever can answer, go for it.
Both in the same day? I'm a better skier than I am surfer. So I want to say skier. But I really like both.
Skiing for me because of après-ski. Like I could care less about the actual ski part, but
Tanisha,
the chalet with the après-ski for me.
Especially in
I'm sorry,
France.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
I mean, after.
Yeah, it literally means after ski.
Oh.
So it's where you drink wine, you eat fondue and all the melted cheese and things like that.
Oh, this sounds like something I would enjoy. I don't have to.
Well, and once you do it in France, you can't go to America and do it because you're paying $20 for chicken tenders and like Bud Light or something. What? Like when you go to France, they give you a charcuterie board on real wood with a knife and a glass made of glass with really good wine in it.
Can we go back to pet peeves on that one? I'm drinking sparkling wine out of plastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially when it's shitty sparkling wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a given. Because if it's shitty, I don't want it. I'll say, give me a beer. I don't have no problem embarrassing. You got some beer or a cocktail? Oh, go ahead.
I do like the glasses where I have to put my own bottom on.
Oh,
they serve a purpose.
Exactly.
They're very compact. Look at the emoji. So one of your best friends when skiing is half bottles of champagne. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I ski with a backpack. People are like, oh, first aid equipment. I'm like, no, it's fucking champagne.
Was that a split of Piper Heisig that you just showed?
Charles, yeah, it's a split of Charles. Sarita got one too. The splits, okay, I'm gonna talk like we all drink a bottle of wine a night. I definitely drink a bottle of wine a night. And I go red, like I drink red. I drink red in the evenings. Like I sit down I don't drink all day, every day.
Just at night, a whole bottle. That's it.
I know. Yeah. So right, but I don't want to open. Sometimes I just want champagne, and I don't want to open. I don't want to open the whole bottle because then you're committed. I don't want it the next day. I'm an asshole. I don't want the wine the next day. So then you're committed to drinking a whole bottle of champagne, and then you're like, okay, but that's a lot before I drink the red that I actually want with my meal or when the sun goes down or whatever. So I keep splits. La Caravelle is actually my go-to because it's less expensive than Heidsieck. I drank it yesterday, which is why this is the one I had in my fridge today, because the La Caravel I drank yesterday. But I keep that in my fridge. So I keep the half bottles in my fridge so I can just be like, this doesn't even count towards the bottle that I'm choosing for this evening. Is how that goes.
So, okay, because we're going to get back to your rapid fire question because we derailed it again. But I need to ask Jennifer this question. So in your portfolio, you sell splits too and can deliver those so I can order splits from you?
Yeah, I can sell pretty much anything. The website's like a menu and it's not necessarily always up to date because it's not what I like to do the most. So it's not what I spend most of my time on. But ask me anything. But it's easier to follow me on Instagram and literally see what bottle I'm like putting into my glass. But I carry splits of the La Caravel, the Charles Heidsieck. I did of that Cremant d'Alsace rosé that I used to carry as well. Some Prosecco for events, but it's super handy to keep them in the fridge because they're really not that expensive. I have to say, Sarita,
yes,
you have the most beautiful voice.
I do. Thank you so much.
You got that expensive ass mic.
She's just saying that because she does
haters.
She does most of your nights.
She kind of does,
that's all that is.
Then she talks, and I'm like, I don't sound like that. Nobody else. Why do you sound like shit? You sound amazing, and it's this sexy like voice.
Welcome to this.
This part is
everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is wonderful to hear.
That's a real like. If anyone saw the movie Grosse Point Blank, that kind of what it brings me back to with Minnie Driver. But I'm just like, damn. Anyways.
Sarita, when do we get all these haters on the show? Jennifer is doing great, but it's just some other haters come. I don't understand. I had to join in again. I had to come off mute.
Who are the haters? I will kill these people.
Oh, you guys are so funny.
Okay, back to the skiing question.
All right,
Leslie.
Next question. Oh, wait, did you say?
Like, what was the question?
I said we got where we were. Okay, here we go.
I would prefer skiing because the surfing the waves kind of make me nervous. So, yeah.
I prefer the skiing as well. I've skied. I was on the bunny slope. Them jokers put me in too tight boots. I felt like a oversized girl and a too small girl. I'll say, if y'all don't get these damn boots off of me. But the fun stuff was the snowmobile and tubing. So skiing activities and the chalet. I agree with Tanisha.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it's the whole like culture around skiing, I think, too. It's like the
hot toddy.
But first of all, boots needs to be comfortable. They need to be comfortable.
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
That will make or break your experience.
And it's the people and the ski emoji is what's happening over there in the corner. I don't know if you guys saw that right there.
I can see it.
It is all about the skiing. That was my gym in college, is skiing.
Come on, Leslie. Here we go.
Here we go, because you know you opening up the Pandora's.
You go with the upper class activities. Are we doing this?
Wow.
Who was it?
It was
a Jennifer backstory.
It was the gym.
Yeah.
Leslie, she grew up in BG County. She likes to call it Pretty Girl County. Okay.
There you go.
All right. She went to private schools. She learned how to drive in a golf cart because her dad played golf.
That's amazing. Well,
thank you, Jennifer.
So now she took a class in skiing.
It was a gym. Like, don't you have gym required credits in college?
Yeah, nigga, we got kickball.
Not in engineering.
Exactly. Volleyball and swimming. They ain't had no damn skiing in DC.
Oh my God, I just died.
And I went literally to a public college. A public college, and they had skiing as a sport.
Howard didn't have no skiing course.
You don't want to know the shit that was required.
What are you talking about?
You don't want to know what was required for engineering. It was
wow.
I'm gonna hang up.
Our electives were like, do you want to take geology? I'm like, why is that an elective? And other people get to take yoga for class. Like, stop it. I'm only jealous. And I now want to know which one of you, because I don't. I've never been. Aspen Food and Wine's on my bucket list, and which
mine
one
too.
On bucket list, yeah, absolutely.
Bucket list, haven't been.
Someone's got to have a connection.
I know.
You should have the connection. Well, you let us know when you get it. Yeah.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
And we all got to be there together, though, because that's going to make it fun.
package
Yeah.
deal. I don't want to
Yes,
go anywhere without you guys.
We don't want to find out about it on Instagram, Jennifer, when we're scrolling through Instagram.
Oh,
No,
Well,
that's fair. That's
well,
fair.
you know, I'm a
that sounded like a little threat, Leslie. I like that. I've never seen that.
That wasn't even little. There's nothing little about that threat. That was a solid, like medium-sized threat. And I'm down for it. I like a challenge. I do.
Oh my gosh. Did everybody answer that question?
Serena's
Yes.
like, can we go back to the question?
I
Does
don't
anyone
even know.
remember the question? Does
Oh,
anyone
this is so
remember the
fun.
question?
No, this is fine. Okay.
They're like, never have her on again. I've never been so derailed in my entire life.
Child, there are episodes that don't even make it to publishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So this
I'm
is
number
nice.
47 of those.
No,
No, this one is going to
No,
get a
this
lot
is
of
nice.
I do believe.
yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, next
Sorry.
question. What wine
Sorry,
would you
editor.
serve? I like Jennifer to go first. What wine would you serve if you had a beach house party?
Charles Heidsick champagne.
Mm.
I would also, I mean, is it a top 5 situation? Where are we at?
Okay, so
Talisman?
this let me just show you where this question came from. So on Discovery
Okay.
Plus, there is a show called Selling the Hamptons.
Oh,
And it's a real
okay.
estate show, and it's a group of people who are just selling houses in the Hamptons. Almost every house is on the water, and of course they're, I don't know, $2, $3, $5 million houses. And I was like, and then I had a dream. I was like, oh, what if I had a beach house? Yeah, so that's where the question came from. So just
Got it.
imagine you have a
Okay.
beach house.
I love, so Kim, do you guys know Kimberly Taylor? She's a real estate agent in the Hamptons, and I met her at New York Champagne Week. But anyways, so
Oh yeah, we have lunch all the time.
I know, right? Oh, I've never been. Don't look at me. But not that white. So tell her. Anyways, follow her on Instagram. Oh my God, I got a LOL out of Tanisha's emoji selection. So, anyways, follow her because she does have these like crazy houses, and I'm like, are there any houses there that suck? I don't think so though.
Right.
But to answer your question, okay, so like Charles Heidsick champagne, La Caravelle champagne. So Talisman is one of my favorite wineries. One of the owner, husband, wife team. All they make is Pinot Noir. And then a few years ago, they made a rosé. And it's a rosé that it wasn't my first bottle. I had to open it. I was like, I can't wait to try this thing. They've never made one before. They gave me a bottle, poured it in my glass. Wasn't really paying attention, sipped from my glass. And I was like, well, that's weird. That tastes like Pinot. And I thought I poured myself a rosé. And I was like, oh, damn, like rosé really tastes like not even just Pinot Noir, but it tastes like Talisman Pinot Noir, which is pretty special to me. And special in general. So Talisman Pinot Noir or rosé of Pinot would be my other one. And then maybe like Saxon Brown Pinot Noir for when everyone's ready to go to the dark side. Because you can't drink, you can drink champagne all day, but sometimes you just want red wine. So I'd have some sexy saxy there for that. I actually answered one of your questions.
You did.
Yeah. Take note.
I think I would do the rosé. I think I would do our friend Lafette rosé.
Oh, yeah. The Wade
Yeah.
rosé is really good too if you've tried that.
Oh, I haven't tried it.
Solid. That's good. Their Chenin Blanc is probably one of the best Chenin Blancs I've ever tried too. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
This is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deal.
So it depends on where I am in status now. If it's this where I'm at right now, I'm just doing a Cremant, right? A Cremant. I love Andre Mac Rosé. Those are my two for a beach house. Now, if I'm now buying $1 million houses in fucking the south of France, out in the Hamptons, that might change, but you never know. Depends. I might hire some of my wine friends if I hit the picking and I'm buying them houses. Now, I know people in wine who have wine business, so I will call Leslie Freehold and Jennifer. It's like, okay, I need y'all to come stock this up and whatever y'all. I trust you. Okay,
I will personally fly shit out to your house in the Hamptons. Brown
I'm
Estate has
still-
some like nice high end stuff, and I'm like, oh man,
Oh, I love Brown Estate. You know,
good shit.
Now,
It is good shit.
Brown Estate Zins are my favorite. I'm drinking that myself. So now let's really have this conversation. Depends on who I'm invited to this beach house. because I'm not opening my bottle. I got a case of Turley sitting in here right now. I'm not opening that for everybody. I'm not doing it. I got some bottles of brown in my wine cooler here. I'm not opening that for everybody. I got certain sets of friends that don't get all the certain stuff. So
no, I love it. This meant tangent. This doesn't mean I need to go. This meant tangent, and I just want to acknowledge that it wasn't mine. Which is why Glynis makes me look good. That's why we need to hang out more. You have an emoji for your wine?
It's no emoji for it because I was looking, and yeah. So I'm basic. It would probably just be a bunch of different French rosés. So from all over, from the South, from Beaujolais, from Alsace, from the Loire Valley, from the Southwest. Yeah, definitely Provence. So just rosés from all over France.
That would be
broke, don't fix it.
Nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Have you ever tried Chateau Puech Haute? Have you heard of that, Tanisha?
I have.
It's kind of new to me, but they have this like Tête de Billier rosé that blew my mind about 8 months ago.
France will do that to you.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I love French.
Leslie, we had the Chateau Lacoste when we were there for my birthday.
Yes.
From Provence. That was really good.
Good stuff.
What about you, Serena?
I'm the only one who chose an American wine. So since I'm thinking of the Hamptons in New York, I'm going to go with a Finger Lakes sparkling, probably something from Glenora.
Oh yeah. I chose a American. I said,
what'd you say?
I said Andre.
You say Andre Mac.
Okay,
and
you're right.
Rosé.
You're right.
And Turley. They were all American. But the Cremant is sparkling, but you're right. Finger Lakes sparkling would be outstanding.
Yeah.
We brought some on the boat last year. One of my girlfriends who I've known since the day I was born, our moms have been best friends since kindergarten, but we were actually like really good friends. She's lovely. So she came from Ithaca to New York to do this boat and brought a bunch of Finger Lakes wine for the people on the boat to try. Because everyone's in the business. Like pretty much everyone's like a somm or whatever. So she brought some Finger Lakes wine and it was really spectacular. There's some I've did a little tour around there too. Like there's some good stuff coming out of there.
Yeah. Glenora they make some great sparklings.
Mm-hmm.
They make some great sparkling. Heron Hill makes some great Chardonnays for all the Chardonnay haters. If you want a non-overly buttery, non-overly oak Chard, Heron Hill out of the Finger Lakes is phenomenal.
That winery rings a bell, Heron Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Oh, I thought I died and got in heaven. Yeah. Well, I was very shocked and surprised. But
Tanisha, shocked emoji.
Well, Jennifer, that wraps up our questions. Please tell everybody where they can follow you.
At JC Select Wines is the best place for them to follow me. And you've gone into a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. You're welcome.
Oh, please.
Enjoy. No, it's been my pleasure, and I cannot wait to hang out in person. I'm gonna work on that Aspen food and wine thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you the date as soon as I have it for the champagne sale with Blaine in New York, because you all need to book your flights and come to that immediately.
Yeah.
And then Tanisha, are you going back to France? Are you staying stateside?
Oh
no, now.
Yeah, she's there.
Oh,
Girl, I'm never leaving this place.
But I shipped wine not to France, because that's even more illegal than shipping free wine.
No, it's not.
I'll be in America soon.
Oh, so you're not even. So are you in France right now? It is like midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
She texted it out for us.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes we hear her snoring.
It has occurred.
She just wakes up. Oh, well, I'm so glad you made it. It's my honor to meet you like slightly more virtually than following you for the past couple of years. So I'm honored.
Right. One day it'll be IRL. One day we'll get it together.
IRL. Where in France are you? Paris.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Paris. Paris. All right. Well, have some couscous at the Muscat Vert for me.
Oh,
I can
yum.
handle that. I can handle
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
One of my favorite places. Have some croissants because San Diego has zero fucking croissants. It's just not a
How
thing.
does that? Oh, you guys are like super healthy with like quinoa and
I
avocado
don't-
and like
San
I don't know,
Francisco's healthy. They have
smoothies.
good croissants. There's just no good. Like there's one place that has decent, like proper croissants, and that's the only place, and they're new.
Mm.
Let
Other
me
than
tell
that,
you,
I'm deprived.
you know what? I totally agree with you, Jennifer.
Quinoa.
I think it's the butter that
Oh,
the French use for the croissant. That
I believe that.
taste
I believe
It's
that.
absolutely
that
the butter.
butter and the
Yeah.
way that flakiness of that croissant, it's got to be the butter. It's
Yeah.
God knows I thought I had died and gone to heaven when I had croissants every time.
The butter, the
Also-
flour, the water, all that's
Unreal.
different. Yeah.
Also,
And the
so
flour.
really quick, I had a girls' staycation at the Conrad Hotel, downtown DC this past weekend, and we had breakfast at the hotel. A phenomenal breakfast, and it came with a croissant, and I was like, "Oh no, this isn't right. This is not right." It was probably the best croissant I've had in the U.S. Just throw that out there.
Really?
I don't know who's in that kitchen at the Conrad, but
A
amen.
French person.
Got to
Amen.
be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I-
Amen. I miss the
Mhm.
quote. Oh, I miss so much about France. We had a trip planned for like whatever 2020 disaster.
Right.
And they were like, don't worry, we'll be there in 2021.
No.
2022. Still no.
Yeah.
So we're going next year, but
Okay.
if we fly through Paris, I'll let you know.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that'll be
Please
fun.
do.
Yeah. And when are you coming to the States?
I'm figuring that out now.
Okay. Well, send dates just in case it coincides with something fun, like the thing that
The boat
Tahira-
ride.
The boat. Well, the boat, that's probably going to be July or beginning of August. And then there's the Wine and Culture Fest that Tahira Habibi puts on every year.
Mhm.
Every year. Last year was the first year, but it was amazing, and I'm still bummed that I missed it. But I'm like, it's on my calendar for this year, so that's August.
This is where?
Atlanta.
Oh,
Okay. Mhm.
So that's different than the one she did for.
It's the same thing. She just changed the name.
Wine
Okay.
Culture. It was Wine Culture Fest last year, but it was the first one last year.
Okay.
And then I think it's called the same thing this year. I don't know. It's in my calendar as that. Whether
So
that's
you're
the
going to
correct
be in
name or not.
Atlanta?
For part of it,
you
at
come-
least part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Calendars. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Calendars are filling up really bad.
Mhm.
And we got to get Leslie back on because we need to, as the Swirl Suite, I know we probably finished with the podcast piece, but we need to organize our trip to Paris to do our podcast live with T from Paris.
Yeah, we
That-
gotta try that.
Yes,
Yeah, we-
you do need to do that.
Well, this was so fun, Jennifer.
Too.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I didn't answer any of your questions.
Oh my
And I went on
Yes, you
80,
did.
80
Stop it.
85 tons. I owe you all of beverage. I owe you all of beverage at this point.
Sweetheart,
I-
but
Big
no.
Mata Gin and Tonic.
Well, that was our episode, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our camaraderie, our hilarious camaraderie with Jennifer. And be sure to check out JC Selects. Don't forget to share this episode, leave us a comment, rate us 5 stars. Cheers.